up super early, the only reliable time to have a editing session. It takes a while to think of and plan like shots and have a cohesive narrative and story. While I visited Colonel Monty, we were able to think of a few things to talk about and to show. This is the story of me going from my place over to meet Monty and then him explaining IFACs. Thank you for watching. We're on the way to go check out the Traveling Colonel building their IFACs. Go see what they're doing.
Hey, Colonel Monty here in Kiev with my buddy Slava, doing some exchange of IFACs and some stretchers I've got for him. He's going to send to the front lines. Slava just told us a great story. We like to hear success stories. Slava's buddy, May 2nd, received one of our first aid kits, and he also got an additional tourniquet from Slava's charity. May 7th, he got hit and used both tourniquets, and his life was saved with the first aid kit and the tourniquets that Slava and I provided for him. So a little great success story there, just out of the blue. We heard about it just now. Thanks a lot for watching. It's Colonel Monty from Kiev.
Here we didn't record a transition from going outside to inside, so now we're gonna go in and Colonel Monty's gonna explain IFACs, and I'm gonna help him build a few.
Hey, Colonel Monty here from Kiev, working with Johnny, Ukrainian Relief Fund. What we're doing is building first aid kits. Everybody thinks that's nice, it's easy, it's quick. It's just a first aid kit. But it takes about a 3-month planning cycle to get the stuff from the United States or get stuff from the suppliers and get it here to the warehouse, work center where we actually put it together. It takes about 19 items to build a first aid kit. And we start back here in the corner. You can kind of see, get an idea of what we've got. We've got Dnipro 2 tourniquets that come from the Dnipro factory in Ukraine. We've got different chest seals that I bring over from America. Hemostatic gauzes that we get from Ukraine, Kovavas. These are made right here in Kiev by volunteers. Gauze for the IFACs. Shears that we buy come in from China. Markers, exam gloves. Burn dressings, these are Ukrainian made, and we get these and give to the soldiers. Emergency blankets to keep hypothermia. We put in some Coban tape, cohesive tape, that makes an alternate trauma bandage. Triangle bandages, trauma bandages, Ukrainian made also. So it takes a lot of different elements. We stockpile those, we buy in advance a little bit, and then we take these raw components and turn them into IFACs. Build first aid kits. Everybody talks about the pouch. It's a real nice, handy pouch. It looks neat. But when you really break it down, it's a lot of steps to get it to the point where a soldier has it to wear on the battlefield. They come packaged in a plastic bag, and that has to be opened up, and then the pouch comes out. Well, you can't do anything with this. It's about 17 steps. And I'll try and do it here real quick. Unsnap that, pull this off, undo the Velcro here that holds it together, get that out of the way, unzip this, open it up, and then open that, and then you gotta finally open this part so we can put the stuff in. And then once you get that, you got this, then we put in 6 items here: exam gloves, alcohol wipes, antibacterial ointment, steri strips, and a couple other things that go in there. So that's the first steps. This takes days just to get this done for 400, 500, 1,000 pouches. So it's a little bit of a work, a little bit of a process. We know how to do it, and you can trust us to get these good IFAKs out to the soldiers.
Now let's go assemble some IFAKs with Colonel Monty. He'll explain in more detail what we're doing.
In the last 14 months, we've built 8,000 individual first aid kits. We talked about next door what the supplies are and each of the components. What I've done now is laid out individual components that build into the individual first aid kit. We've got antibacterial creams, we've got exam gloves, antiseptic wipes, alcohol wipes, some band-aids or plasters, the Brits call them, emergency blanket for preventing hypothermia, a triangle bandage for head wraps and slings, Steri-Strip for small cuts, and then exam gloves again. And then we've got 4 items here: a burn ointment patch, and gauze for wound packing, nasal airway, hemostatic gauze to stop the bleeding in wounds, a pair of shears to cut the clothes away, a marker to mark the tourniquet when you put the tourniquet on. Probably the most important thing, a good solid tourniquet, stop the arterial bleeding and save a life. Trauma bandage to do the same thing, stop bleeding and protect the wounds. Chest seals too, in case you're shot in the chest for the front and back. All of these items go into an individual first aid kit pouch. The pouch isn't going to save your life, but these items inside of here are going to save your life. And what we end up with, today we built 25 this morning, is an IFAK with a traveling colonel patch, and inside of there, these 19 items, and this is going to save a life. Potentially 3 lives, because a tourniquet can stop the bleeding on one soldier, a trauma bandage on another soldier, and chest seals on another soldier. So really, 3 or 4 different soldiers could be saved by one individual first aid kit. This is individual is for one soldier. He'll put this on his body armor, carry with him into combat. We're talking about first aid kits today, individual first aid kits, IFAKs are called, for the front line. We don't build them for anybody else. They're really frontline soldier only. And what we do, we overstuff them a little bit. One of the big things is shrapnel, bullet wounds. You need gauze to pack into that wound to stop the flow of blood. There's different things. You've got arterial bleeding, that's a tourniquet, but these are just minor wounds or shrapnel. And then what we've got is a series of gauzes we put in. We'll put in a flat gauze, and there can be any kind of gauze, and it comes flat, and that's separate. And then we've got a compressed gauze, which is 2 inches wide by about 4 meters long, so you can really pack that into a deep wound. And we've got roll gauze, so they can put into a wound, and also hemostatic gauze. Hemostatic gauze is like the compressed flat gauze, except it's got a blood clotting element built into it and helps clot faster, get the guy off the front lines. So that's the gauzes. We put a variety of them, 1 piece of flat gauze, compressed, roll gauze, and hemostatic into each of the individual first aid kits that helps out the soldier and maybe his buddy.
One of my medic friends needed 2 sets of body armor plate carriers, ballistic plates. So I was looking around, and I was fortunate enough, Monty here, he had these extra ones that were donations. Another example of effective use in cooperation here to get people what they need. Thank you so much, Monty.
Yeah, Colonel Monty in Kiev. I got these plate carriers a month ago. I've been giving them out occasionally, and I've used a few of them, and now Johnny's got a definite need for a medic to have plate carriers, so we're helping out. Everybody's helping each other. We're sharing, trying to save the guys in the front lines. Thanks for watching.
Thank you. Thank you very much for watching. That's all for this video. I truly appreciate all of your support, and I will continue to do as best as I can to upload. We're running into power outages time constraints. It's a challenging job. Continuous changes in plans due to what the invaders decide to do, and the needs change all the time. The amount of time you get to spend on things like editing is inconsistent, and you don't know if you're going to have to drive, like 8 hours and turn around, go drive for another 2, another 3. It's constantly changing. And then also operation security concerns. The Americans, we just got back from giving them stuff. They're very camera shy because of security concerns. There's websites, Telegram groups that are dedicated to identifying, doxing, and harming American volunteers here. They want to kill them, basically. These groups are dedicated to harming these Americans as much as possible in whatever way that they can. It is a legitimate concern. So then there's those groups, which oddly enough, I think some American people are part of those groups to harm other Americans, and then invaders want to harm us as well. So I understand that they don't really want to be on camera as much or at all. So that's a challenge, to tell the story, show the story, but then security concerns and people not wanting to be on camera because it could end up killing them. Yeah. So it's like, how do I show you what we're doing while maintaining operational security? So, walk the line, figure out as much as we can. I could show everything Monty and I do, and humanitarian stuff. Stick to that a lot. Okay, thank you again. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate everything you do. Everything you do truly helps us here, and we are actively helping to defend Ukraine and improve the quality of life of people who are having everything taken from them. So, thank you.